Hello, this is Kenneth 14621, and I've got my friend here. He's an expert, I say, I think he's an expert in sports. He's been watching sports since the 80s. Okay, and so we're going to ask the question, can the Rockets beat Golden State in a 7-game series and win the championship? And now, okay, so I'm going to ask George first. So, George, the Rockets, people say they can't do it in the playoffs. That Golden State turns into a different team. The Cavs turned into a different team in the playoffs. But even if they finish with a better record, they still can't beat them because they can't do it in the playoffs. What do you say to that, George?
Well, first, let's give props to the Golden State Warriors.
Okay.
The Warriors got 4 superstars on that team. They're good for a reason.
I say
even
2.
before they got KD.
Yeah.
But what I will say is for the Houston Rockets, I've been watching them since 1978. I was 8 years old. And I've seen a lot of good Rockets teams, but I can honestly say that the Houston Rockets this year have a full squad and a bunch of shooters. And the 3 main pickups that we had this year was Chris Paul, all defense, just a team leader. Really good player, man.
Yes.
I never really thought he was that good, but being able to watch him and observe, his playmaking abilities, man, it's really special to see that.
Yeah.
And then also, it allows Harden to take a breather, man.
Oh, yeah.
Harden will come in and run it.
Yep.
Chris Paul will kick back.
Oh, yeah.
Next thing you know, Chris Paul comes through, man.
And then Harden comes back in fresh, right?
Yeah, by second quarter, comes back in fresh. And not only that, man, but adding Luke Balamatu and along with Trevor Ariza, P.J. Tucker, Chris Paul, Clint Capella's a really great improved player this year.
Oh,
man.
yeah. That's what people don't realize,
Oh,
They
man,
see
Clint
the same
Capella,
people. Man. They think it's the same roster. It's not.
Yeah. I called it, man, when he first came out. I said that was a good pickup, man, because he had the potential and the athletic abilities to be a good rebounder, a good shot blocker, a good, scorer. I never thought the scoring, man. He's gotten some moves this year.
Oh, yeah.
He has the Harden Euro step now. They're the Ginobili, Euro step.
He was always really good at defense. There was no doubt about that.
Oh, man. Rockets, they got a squad, man. Gerald Green coming off the bench. You got Eric Gordon coming off the bench. And all they do is score, and they can play defense. Eric Gordon is top-notch defender. People might not think that, but he's strong. He gets to the paint. He bullies people with the size. He makes and-ones all the time.
Yeah, you're talking about Gordon, right?
Yeah, Gordon. Splash Gordon, baby.
Yep.
And then you have the Nene. He's a proven professional.
Nene.
He gets the job done. We'll see what Joe Johnson and Wright bring, but I think that Wright pickup was a good one because we struggled against San Antonio against the big men. We were out rebounded bad.
Oh yeah, that's what we needed. Yep.
Oh man, but
now we have several guys that are almost 7 foot, like at least 3.
And not only that, but they're all good quality.
And
players. They're not superstars, but they get the numbers. What you need at that position between your first and second guy.
Yeah. So
whoever else you bring off.
So you think the Rockets can win the championship this year and do it in the playoffs?
I think they stand a good chance. I'm not saying that because I'm a Rocket fan.
Yeah.
It's from everything I've ever experienced in the sports I've watched during my life.
And I've heard George say, hey, I've heard him say about Houston teams, oh, no, it's not going to happen this year. He says, just give up. The season's over. So.
And it's not because I say it like that. I see the talent.
He's honest. That's what I'm saying.
If they mesh or whatever, I'm honest. I'm not being biased.
He's not,
But I really think the Rockets have a chance. I mean, look, 2 years ago we had Dwight Howard, they didn't have Kevin Durant, but you know, you could see that Harden was tired, man.
Yeah.
He was trying to carry the team by fourth quarter.
Yeah.
He was cool, man. He was making mistakes.
Yep.
You don't see that this year. And the number one thing I will say about James Harden that I've noticed this year,
yeah,
is that 3-point shot, man.
It's a higher percentage this year, isn't it? He's shooting it better than he's ever shot it.
Man.
So, okay, so let me give my opinion. Okay, you could go on forever, but let me give my opinion. So, you know, I think we can do it this year because, you know, I'm always an optimist. You know, I picked the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. You know, I mean, and you know, I'm sure there's a lot of young fans, and you know, they just haven't seen stuff like that happen. You know, they see these super teams, and they think it's always easy to see who's going to win. They think team with the best record is going to win the championship, or you know, and they've only seen one team be good. You know, they haven't seen these upsets. You know, like when Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl. You know, and you know, like the Rockets in the 80s, they had an under 500 record when they entered the playoffs, and then they found themselves in the finals. You know what I'm saying? So, who's to say who's going to win? You can't say one team's not going to be able to beat another team. And, you know, so that's why I think, sure, we can win it. And especially this year. You know, Golden State had guys injured at the beginning of the year. So we got ahead of them. Then we had guys. Video cut off, but so Golden State had guys injured at the beginning of the year. And then we had guys injured. So they got ahead of us. Well, they had guys injured, so we got ahead of them. Then we had guys injured, so they got ahead of us. But now, in the past couple of weeks, both teams have been perfectly healthy, and the Rockets are gaining games on them. You know, so I think, if anything, the Rockets, barring injury, you know, you could always have injuries, but the Rockets should finish this season with a better record than Golden State. And, you know, to me, that means something, you know. I mean, Golden State see, people say Houston choked in the playoffs. Last year, they lost to the Spurs. The Spurs had a better record than them in the regular season. They were supposed to lose to the Spurs. It's not that they choked, you know. Rockets have been losing to teams with better records. And this year, we're going to have the best record. So, you know, but, you know, so anyways, so that's my opinion on Houston choking. And anyways, so, well, that's all for today. I don't want to make a video too long, but, so we had my friend George on there, so I'm going to have him on the show every once in a while, but, thank you very much. Kenneth 14621, signing off.